Hi, guys. Good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in today's video, I will be talking about what I thought of the latest episode from the horror anthology series Into the Dark. It premieres exclusively on Hulu, and speaking of Into the Dark, they recently announced within the past 2 days that the show has been indeed renewed for a second season. And it sounds like, if I read it correctly, that the new season 2, debuts in about 2 months, starting in October. So hopefully we'll have a brand new Halloween episode to look forward to. So that's pretty exciting. But for now, let's talk about the episode that dropped earlier this month. I finally got around to watching it. My God, I can't believe it took me this long to watch it. So for that, I apologize, but it's been a crazy past couple weeks. But I finally had a chance to sit down and enjoy it, and I got a lot to say as usual. Now, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled episode review. Again, if you have not seen this episode, of Into the Dark called School Spirit, and you would like to, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers. So again, this is your spoiler warning. You have been spoiled. You have been spoiled. You have been warned. Spoilers starting now. So basically, this was The Breakfast Club with a slasher twist. Don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoyed that. I thought that was a pretty cool concept. You know, a bunch of high school kids serving Saturday detention, and then there's a murderer among them. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And even though School Spirit isn't necessarily a holiday, it is an overall attitude felt during the first day of school, or maybe even the first week of school, for many students and their parents and their teachers at the beginning of the school year, which for some places is like late August, other places it's like the first or second weekend of September. So I could see why they went with that particular theme or holiday for this month's episode. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know, I thought for a while there it might have been an actual supernatural entity, but when they showed the murderer crawling around in the air ducts, you're like, oh, okay, so this is someone wearing a costume. This is either Mr. Armstrong, or it's that weirdo who was angry about people not listening to him, Brett, and the guy who got the mop and muck bucket. I was like, okay, you know, it's probably going to be him or the vice principal. And sure enough, they reveal that it's him when he comes in holding the bloody axe that he took from Victor after he killed him, and his shirt's completely bloodstained too. And then, of course, his motivations were pretty sound. He was the son of the teacher who had a heart attack due to a school prank gone wrong, and he had been killing bad students or troubled students with behavioral problems, and filling them in a makeshift classroom he had made down in the cellar, which was gross but super creepy. You know, very creepy, scary concept. You know, this episode was reminiscent of the Phantom of the Opera story. You got someone who's mentally deranged, and they take on the persona and identity of a monster, even going as far as wearing a mask or a whole costume, and they terrorize a school or a place filled with people, and they fall in love with the one girl with whom they think they have a connection, and they bring them down to where they live, which is like in the very base of the building that they're terrorizing, and they try to make that woman fall in love with them, and of course it backfires, where she either kills him or she rejects his love. You know, which is pretty much, I summed up the Phantom of the Opera films for you. But that's what this episode was a lot like too. So it's very reminiscent of both The Breakfast Club and the Phantom of the Opera story, which made for a pretty entertaining episode. And I'm so grateful that for the first time in a very long time, although Culture Shock had some pretty likable characters, at least our two leads were pretty likable characters. That was the 4th of July episode they did last month, which was also pretty good. This episode, I felt like we finally had some damn likable characters in the leading roles. And even though it revealed that Erica, our final girl, was not the academic genius that everyone had painted her out to be, nor was she like the good girl that everyone thought she was. And it sounds like she was just living up to the super high expectations of her super pressuring parents, who wanted her to excel at everything, at least everything school and academic related. And couldn't bear to have anyone think that she was in detention for any reason whatsoever. So even though she kind of comes off as like a bit of a what's the term I'm looking for? She comes off as like almost two-faced towards the end there. It's not necessarily two-faced, but you could also kind of understand where she's coming from. You know, she's got an image that she wants to maintain, and she's probably had it drilled into her mind that she has to keep up appearances, even in a life or death situation. With this situation, will probably help her get into Harvard because everyone will be feeling sorry for her and everything. You know, this episode had some great creative kills, like any good slasher movie. You have the killer killing the characters one by one in really creative ways. Best one was probably when he got Russell into that big paper cutter, the big the big paper slicer. The first kill that well, not the first kill, but the first kill of our detention club or our breakfast club. That was an awesome death scene. You know, and I liked the costume too. Costume was very scary, even when I realized it was someone just in a costume. And I thought at first it might have been a supernatural entity or indeed a spirit. It was still a pretty scary looking, scary and effective looking costume, and it got the point across. It made you, it made it feel creepy and scary. And so overall, pretty solid, entertaining episode, and I really enjoyed it. I liked the Breakfast Club with a slasher twist kind of feel to it. I thought it was pretty damn good, and everybody did a great job, especially Erica, our final girl, and the actor who played the deeply troubled, disturbed, psychotic Brett. You know, he did an excellent job playing a conniving little shit, basically. I mean that with the most utmost respect. All right, so thank you guys for watching my episode review of Into the Dark School Spirit. It is currently streaming on Hulu. The next new episode drops early next month. It's usually the first Friday of every month, so probably September 1st, and if not September 1st exactly, a few days after the 1st. And then Season 2 is set to debut in October with hopefully a brand new Halloween episode, unless there's some other big holiday besides Halloween in October we're not aware of. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos and reviews like this one. Have an awesome rest of your weekend if I don't see you. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.